So hello everyone, nice to see you all. I'm Adela and today with me is Beatrice. Hello Beatrice, thank you for accepting my invitation to speak about the 59 activation. Nice to see you.
Hi, lovely to see you, lovely to see you, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, it's it's for people who want to know more about how the gene keys feel, how these specific gates feel. So today we met to talk about 59. So let's see, what did you learn from the 59? What did it bring in your life as a life lesson?
Wow. Um,
I know.
yeah, this is really a deep one for me, and it's very interesting because I learn with gene keys in retrospective. I mean, I am able to explain and understood so many things happen in my life, and it's a fantastic way to gain a clarity, because bottom line, are we not so you know affected by not knowing or not understanding some things? Yeah, I don't know why that happened. I don't know how come I had 3 kids with this man like my mom. So and yeah, here comes Gene Keys, and I was talking to you earlier. I come from the human design perspective into Gene Keys, so there's energy of sexuality that is defined by gate 59, or maybe not defined, sensed, experienced by everyone through the gate 59 with all its nuances. This is the first, the first impact, the sexuality, intimacy, in Gene Keys. These are coming from dishonesty to intimacy to transparency. And yeah, when we get in a relationship, or we have an encounter, or we just go close to one person, we feel them first, and it could be that sexual attraction first, isn't it? So that's the main that's the main energy
With
there.
two 59s, I can agree.
You have 259s.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is our sacral talking, the energy in us that, uh, yeah, it's a creation. It's the energy of creation. So, of course, I explain so much. I'm like, veils are coming off my eyes and of my brain one after the other. So the dishonesty. So I'll give you, a little bit of each. So each, nuances, all these 3 layers, yeah. Dishonesty. So in relationship to others, so I, like most of us probably, we've seen this in relationship to others. And I was, in my younger years, I was kind of like black and white, and quite abrupt, and quite shocking people, because I would have immediately see it and I wouldn't have accepted it. So I was not so I can't find the right word, whatever, um, tolerant, that's the word, not so tolerant with dishonesty. So if I would find out that there is a lie there, I would just say goodbye. Say, oh, it's a lie, so goodbye. Well, obviously didn't know about the conditioning, so didn't know about why that lie might pop up in our relationship, in others. I immediately notice that because there is so much guilt and there's so much blame and so much shame and it's a lot of trauma, and I gain that understanding, so I'm much more tolerant to that. But it still shocks me, because from my perspective, so when I was dishonest, and everyone were at one point in their life. I totally believe this. It's just a matter of recognizing or admitting it. I didn't feel good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's a low vibration there, and if you just allow yourself to notice that, oh, do I feel good or not so good with that, then you discover it. You can so easily unveil it, and it's for God's sake, it can save your marriage, it can save your life, it can save, it shifts everything, the whole perspective. So I've seen these two different ways to look through it. So in relation to others and in relation to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And in relation to myself. And this is what I ask from my clients, to be honest. I mean, honest, like transparent, honest to themselves first. They don't have to be 100%. I mean, they don't have to, share everything, and but to be with themselves, because that absolutely shifts the whole energy in their aura, in their system. And that's kind of like, cold shower that wakes you up and it's like, okay, now I know, now I understood, now I kind of like got it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this, because I think it's such an important step when you want to know yourself better, or start working with people. That basis is very important. To be honest, and I find that 59 is a gate or a key that has a lot to do with working with people. I find it a lot in the profile of therapists, in profile of coaches, because it's that energy to go intimate with. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's why I asked you, like, before, like, do you do coaching? I was like, sure you do, but then so 59 has that way of entering the intimate space with the other. And I find it's very valuable, as you say, to ask the other one, hey, do you want to do this? How honest are you with yourself? Where aren't you honest with yourself? Because 59 just cracks that layers of of intimacy, and even with the self and others. So yeah, thank you for pointing that. That's a good point when you start working with someone, like that spark of honesty. That's very important.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they wouldn't achieve anything, because I totally believe that each and every one of us have our way to get through it, and we know that we are unique. So now we know that I when I realized that, I knew that. But so much stuff came with training myself in these energy modalities, and learning from human design and from Gene Keys and from a few others, that, oh my God, we are so nuanced. Even if we have the same chart,
Yes.
even if we have the same, like we discovered, we have the same incarnation cross. I mean, the gates, not the lines. So there are so many variations. We are definitely unique, and the conditioning, which I don't consider it's all bad. I mean, it's a lot of conditioning that help us get to where we are, for God's sake, even if we had a lot of depressions to go through. But the conditioning it's not all, as I said, is not all bad. But I was about to just lost my train of thought. We are so much nuanced, that we are unique because we were conditioned differently.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the same environment, because of the different energetic configuration we have, we were affected differently. I could see the difference from my brother and my sister. So we have different memories of the same event. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous because we didn't keep in our memories, in our energy, only what affected us, not so only through our perceptions, which are unique. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point you bring, and thank you for bringing it. Sometimes when I work with I mainly work with the astrology part, but it's very interesting because sometimes I feel with some people, I tell them like, can we look at the charts of your parents? Because sometimes I feel that, let's say that the zodiac sign of the parent is important, or where the parent has the moon, because many times we might feel the story, it's like our story, but many times it's just something that passes on. So it, as you say, it takes quite an awakening to decondition yourself, if we can use that term, and see the layers, like, hey, this is mine, this is something I have from from someone else. And yeah, very interesting. What do you feel about the gift and the CD? What did those
That,
bring to you? Like,
yes.
what are the lessons there?
This intimacy. So I was perceived intimate, and I wasn't. It wasn't my intention. So quite a few times during my younger years. So that was a good point, because it was something that you know, brought awareness, explained to me, and stopped make me blame myself. That was a huge lesson for me, because I was blaming myself, and I was, kind of like a blind, didn't think of that, not a fraction of a second. So there was one aspect, and then there is something else. Sometimes I look at all three: dishonesty, intimacy, transparency, and sometimes they are playing with my with my perception, because I can see dishonesty and transparency like a black and white, like the opposites, and intimacy coming after them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
this is yeah, and I'm still, in a work in progress with this gate, because it's quite fickle,
Very. It's the
yeah.
little dragon. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I did perceive it like, I mean, you can be honest and dishonest. So dishonest, yeah, it's very clear. And when you are honest, then you bring that, you are transparent. When you are honest, you are transparent. You are transparent to yourself. You're transparent to others. Yeah, like you can see directly into my eyes, into my heart, and this is exactly the opposite. And then comes the intimacy, then comes, that trust, that it builds intimacy. And I'm going a little bit further beyond a relationship, like a partner, life partner, going into partnership in business, or in, just a project. Doesn't have to be in a company, but in a project. You have to get rid of the shadow, I mean, to be in the higher frequency towards the transparency, to gain, to achieve that intimacy, and a good relationship with a partner. Otherwise, it's not working.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
what I value a lot from what you said, it's first of all, I think you're one of the first person that talks about the three bands of frequency and how we dance between them. I believe the same stuff. I always tell it to my clients. Hey, it doesn't mean that now that you're working with your shadow, you will never you will never have it active in your chart again. It's like, yeah,
Mm.
it's a dance. This week I'm there, next week I'm there, this minute I'm there. It's just a dance. So thank you for saying that. That's very valuable, and I think it takes a bit from the pressure that, if I'm evolved and I work with my profile, I will never be dishonest again, or never meet dishonest people again. Yeah.
Well, no, that might be the case. You need to learn another lesson, and exactly a dishonest person will going to bring it to you. So, yeah, you never know. You never know. What? So moving into, because I ticked a little bit on intimacy, but moving into the transparency. Um, so my 59 is in pearl actually. So it's
A
not
good
in.
place.
See, so it's the culture,
Mhm.
and that kind of like moves us in a totally different or on a totally different level because honestly, I experience more shadow at this level. I mean, there's a lot of shadow, a lot of dishonesty in our culture in general, and it's I found myself in on the way to find my fractal line actually, or to be attracted to my fractal line because um, I've been in groups, I've been in cultures where I didn't feel uh, it's I'm there that to belong. I didn't belong there, so it wasn't for me, and I just moved out and continued doing what I do for myself, and I feel that that would be a totally different level because the line 5 that I have there is society. That's the meaning of society. So it's going to be something in relation to society, not a little group. And I'm quite curious to see how things are going to unveil for me because on the other side of the pearl, I have the core wound. I have 63 line 2. So the core wound, the vocation is the nature, our nature, as Richard is teaching us, and the culture is the nurture. So it might be the case to nurture that culture that is creating the space for me to bring the highest potential of myself into it. So yeah, I'm I'm
Nice.
just bubbling because I know we are on the shift or I mean, on the precipice of a huge shift in everything. So I'm just bubbling and very excited to live these times. To be honest.
Thank you a lot. Thank you for sharing. And I would like here to say something about the shift.
Yeah.
uh, First of all, thank you for the connection between the pearl and the core. The culture and the core. Thank you. That's a very nice way of looking at stuff in the first sequence. I'm
Hmm.
always interested between this circuitry in the chart, so that's brilliant. What I felt like saying, and one of the lessons I learned from 59. So 59 is in my south node in the human design chart.
Hmm.
What I find important about 59 is that the partnering program is 55. And I always find that this is one of the higher meanings of 59, that intimacy and transparency has a higher meaning. It's here to bring freedom, freedom of the individual and freedom of the connection with the other. So many times people that have 59 in their profile feel the change is coming, feel they just feel that 55 that pulsates freedom. So one of the life lessons I learned from 59 is to understand the higher meaning of connection with people. As you said, I had the same kind of provocation too. Like people were translating my transparency and intimacy as something else, and I was like, no, 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 not the case. And I think 55 is the other side of the spectrum here, just that beauty of freedom and romance that freedom brings. And I think those two together have this beautiful way of awakening energy, awakening even sexual energy if that is needed for transformation. Yeah, of course, why not? So it's that power of the dragon, that untamable dragon that needs freedom, needs space, needs evolution, and it's a fantastic creature. I love it. So for those of you who have 59 or have 55, that kind of pulsating energy that feels inside, as you said it too, it's, you know, a change is coming. You know that a shift is happening inside you because a change is about to happen. And we are blessed to live in these times. I truly believe that. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beatrice, thank you a lot. It's a pleasure. I'm honored. Well, we had the same activation sequence, so it was like, wow, how did that happen? So yeah, the universe knows better how he sends people, or that energy, how people have to meet. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your perspective. And yeah, would you like to close with something? Is something there to be spoken in the end?
Well, it was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. It's fantastic how we attracted and we discussed, we conversed. It was brilliant. I loved it. And yeah, invite me more. Invite me again.
I
um, I want to say something that really impacted me from what Richard wrote when he completed his experiment with human design. So he took, after 7 years, and he even wrote a book about 7 years on the wheel. And I really remain with that final word. And he's quoting Ram Dass, actually, that says about a true spiritual system has two basic qualities. Firstly, it must absolutely take over your life and absorb you within itself. And the second, it must self-destruct when you have attained your higher self. And that was the moment when he was saying that human design actually he doesn't feel that he needs the human design, and he will begin with another system of his, and he said that I'll call them the gene keys. So uh, I'm kind of like, oh gosh, I look forward for what's coming next, because he has the fourth sequence there, isn't he? After the pearl, it's there is a space there. So
yeah, it's a space creating. Yeah. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. And yes, meet you soon.
Thank you, thank you. Bye bye. Much love to everyone.